Update. My best friend Pam, female 22, started dating my male 22 high school bully. The fallout. Original post. Just as the title said, I, male 21, have a girl, let's call her Pam, female 22, I considered to be my best friend for the last 3 years. Pam has seen me go through a lot, especially after my family disowned me for not forgiving my cousin for hooking up with my then girlfriend 4 years ago. Pam was the one to help me through all that, and I genuinely thought she was someone who would never hurt me. But here I am. Last night she was hanging around my apartment and we were drinking. She's not good with it, so she got loose and admitted to being in a relationship with my high school bully. All of us were in the same class, so she knows the kind of things he, male 22, has done to me. Especially after my family disowned me. He got even meaner as my cousin was a part of his group. He and his gang of lackeys always physically and mentally mistreated me. I filed a complaint with the school, but we all know how helpful they are in these cases. Moreover, since I did not have my parents by my side, nothing was done to them and my life was made even hellish. Pam was the only one who kept me together, so I started living with her parents after I was disowned. So she knows firsthand what kind of torment that person put me through. Back to the topic. I don't think she immediately realized what she had admitted to and went to sleep in my spare bedroom. I was too shocked to sleep, so I went to stay with a college friend. Pam must have realized what she confessed to last night and have since bombarding my phone with calls and texts. My friend took my phone away and I'm using his phone to type this post. Apologies for any mistakes. I am honestly thinking of cutting her out at this point. She means a lot to me, but I just can't be around her anymore. But I don't know whether I'm being unreasonable here. Can someone help me? Now for the top advice before reading the updates. Hey Opie, I'm really sorry to hear you have to deal with us. To reference those saying that people change, Opie, you are not required to forgive him or your friend under any circumstances. And moreover, your best friend cannot forgive him for you. I think you should also note that she clearly deliberately hid her relationship from you. She knew that this would upset you, hence why she hid it from you until she was too drunk to continue doing so. I don't think it would be unreasonable for you to cut her off or even request distance. If this is unforgivable for you, that's okay. Personally, I wouldn't be able to forgive a friend that dated my tormentor, so I understand where you are coming from. I think whatever choice you end up making is up to you, but whatever option you choose is okay. I wish you luck in continuing to heal moving forward. This is the one. Do not rush to forgive just to please your friend. Also, she hid this for a reason. And if the bully changed, he would have reached out knowing he was dating Opie's friend to make amends. Wow, she's a terrible person for doing that. There's no way in hell she didn't realize this was going to be the outcome. On top of it all, she has given your bully even more ammunition to humiliate and bully you with. I guarantee she has probably told him everything about you and about all the breakdowns you've had. This person is not your friend. This is most likely exactly right. Pillow talk is powerful stuff. It usually has a lot of "this can't leave this room" type of information being exchanged. So long as she's with him, Opie's literally unsafe. Edit. Well, I don't know how to update posts in the sub, so I'll just tell you some information here. I haven't decided to meet her tomorrow to hear her side of the story. I need to do at least that much. Also, I'll answer your questions tomorrow as well. Thank you for everything. I never knew there would be so many people out there who will help me so much. And now for the update. Let me start with apologies and thank you to everyone who helped me with my last post. Either way, I want to talk with her the next day to get to know her side, as most of you wonderful people suggested me to. But on someone's advice, I did not go alone. I had a couple of my college friends with me. I didn't know what I was thinking or feeling back when I entered the cafe we were supposed to meet in. But when I saw her, it felt as if she had been crying for the entire night. As Pam saw me walking towards her, she got up to hug me. We usually greet each other like that, but I gently pushed her away. I could see she was hurt, but so was I. My buddies took seats over at the next table and Pam and I got to talking. She could barely form any sentences as she kept apologizing. I told her to stop crying as gently as I could, and she finally started telling her side of the story to me. Well, they had not been dating for 3 months, but for a year. Yup, for a year she had been lying to me. And then came the line which most of you said she would. Pam, he has changed a lot. You should meet him. Me, Really? You're going to say that to me after all he has done? I still have scars from what he did to me. You know this, don't you? Why were you talking to him in the first place? Pam, he wanted to apologize to you for all he did, but didn't have the courage to. From then on, the conversation went in circles. He wanted to apologize. The two of them got to talking at all. But she did not have the answer for my one question. Why him? At this point, someone walked over to us and sat beside her. Any guesses who it was? Yep, it was my bully. Let's call him Matt. I don't clearly remember what happened afterwards, but there was a lot of yelling and then Matt snapped and tried to punch me for making his girl cry. Pam was watching it all. I wasn't in the right mind, so the punch hit me. My friends rushed over, but before they could do anything, I knocked Matt down. Back in high school, I used to be small and weak, but in the last couple of years, I have grown a lot, both in height and weight. Thankfully, my friends stopped me before I did something that would have made me regret later on. Pam was crying all the while, but not once did she try to check on me. At that moment, I knew our friendship was over. I looked at her for one last time and told her, "So much for a change, don't you think?" After that, my friends and I walked out of the cafe. It was then all the rush and anger I had disappeared, and I started bawling like I was back in high school. Not proud of it, but my friends helped me immensely. The days following the meet were tiring as I was busy moving in with my friends. The apartment I was living in belonged to Pam's parents, so I didn't think it was right for me to continue living there. However, before leaving, I called them and told them about the fight and stuff, and that I was moving out. They were surprised and reassured me that their daughter will not cause me any issues, but I declined. I was living there while paying minimum rent to them, and I did not think it would be a good idea for me to live somewhere Pam could find me. I thanked them for all they had done for me over the last few years, and reassured them our relationship was still the same. I could feel it was tough for all of us, but this farewell was necessary. So here I am, living with my college friends who also celebrated my birthday last night. It was an awesome party, and completely unexpected too. After all, in all this mess, I forgot about my birthday for the last time in life. On my birthday, Pam tried to call and text me, but I didn't reply to or see her text. So that's all, I think. I'm still sad about losing my best friend, but I know this is the best for both of us. On a positive note, though, I was informed that I have been selected for a student exchange program. So if the pandemic allows it, I'll be moving to Singapore in a couple of months. And lastly, thank you for all the love and support you people gave me. Love y'all and take care. Good for you. At least she'll now know that he is as violent as you remembered him to be. Yep, I wasn't even surprised. OP, as you also said, why was she even talking to him in the first place? Even if he changed or wanted to apologize, it doesn't change what happened and it's still a very big betrayal and extremely disrespectful. Now we've all seen that he hasn't even changed. Maybe you could press charges. It is petty, but he deserves it. You had a lot of witnesses as well. The guy wanted to apologize, which I also suspect since his apology was attacking you. He never apologized to you. So it came to her to apologize to you, and she began sleeping with him? That's her logic and just shows how much of a piece of trash he is. The relationship really won't last. She'll see his true side and will wonder if he was really worth the relationship. Good luck for the exchange program. Singapore is a great place. I know I shouldn't be concerned about her, but I hope she leaves him for her own good. Doesn't matter, dude. It's her life. She's made her decision. You can't expect to go rob a bank and not face any consequences. Why does she even want to stay friends with you? She clearly doesn't care or have any empathy. She also was worried about him over you when he attacked you. Yeah, that fact hurt me more than my parents disowning me. It was a mixture of pain and satisfaction of knowing I wasn't wrong. Now for the last story. Update. Brother's girlfriend thinks I bullied her in high school. I don't remember her, and her story seems off. But I can't come to Christmas unless I apologize. Original post. My brother Jack is dating Jess. I met her in summer and she said we'd gone to secondary school together. She seemed upset I didn't remember her, so I apologized and she said it was fine and then she walked away. I'm engaged to a guy I went to high school with and still in touch with a friend from school, so I messaged both of them and asked them if they remembered Jess, and neither did, so I figured that Jess just wasn't in my classes and that's why I couldn't place her. That night, Jack messaged saying I really upset Jess once again. I was like, again? It says that Jess says I used to bully her. I'm not going to say I was a great person in high school. I had lots of friends, but I was going through a lot of crap. So I could be nice, but could also often be just a raging witch. I never targeted or tormented anyone, and I truly do not think it crossed into bully territory, but I could be very rude and sarcastic. I was definitely not an a-hole, but bully is a bit much in my opinion. Jack said I had to text him an apology so he could show it to Jess. So I sent a generic apology text because I don't know what I actually did, and could only assume I was an a-hole to Jess at some point. Jack called me out on it being generic and said I needed to be specific. I told Jack that I didn't remember Jess. So if she wants a specific apology, she needs to tell me what I am apologizing for. Jess says I stole her boyfriend, gave her an eating disorder, and stopped her getting into her dream university. And here is where the story gets sketchy, because the guy Jess claims to have been dating at the time was a liar who told people we hooked up when we didn't. As for the eating disorder, I was a witch, but I would never encourage someone to develop an ED, as I had an eating disorder myself and BDD, so I was not about to make someone else feel bad about their body when I felt like crap about mine. As for the university, Jess says I made her fail an exam, and failing it kept her out of uni. I have literally no idea what she means. I'm also pretty sure that Jess and I went to different sixth forms, and sixth forms are where you do A-levels, which are the ones that get you into uni. So I have no idea how it's possible for me to have messed up her A-levels when we weren't at the same school. But bottom line is that she believes that I am personally responsible for all of this. Jack says that Jess said that where she's at in life now is all down to me bullying her. I still don't remember any of it. And I actually feel like I remember less with every new piece of info she gives me because it just seems off. Maybe I'm in denial and I need to take a hard look in the mirror. But until then, I'm having an issue giving a sincere apology. And without a sincere apology, I am not allowed to attend Christmas. I haven't seen my relatives in ages, and I'm already in isolation in preparation. And my kids are really excited, so it would suck not to be able to go after all of this. But my dad is siding with Jack and Jess and has said that he wants a calm Christmas. So if I don't deal with the high school drama, I'm not invited. How do I apologize for something I don't remember and resolve this with the least possible drama? Now for the top advice before reading the update. Got some friends in common with her from high school? Maybe they can help with the situation, aka clear up her BS. The fact your dad wants to deny seeing his grandchildren is pure BS. I'm not in contact with many people from high school. Most of my friends were like me, meaning they were really witchy. So I'm only in touch with one of them who grew up and mellowed out, and she doesn't remember Jess either. I married my high school boyfriend and then divorced him, and now I'm engaged to the self-described awkward nerd who also went to my high school, who is not popular or cool, but it says my friends and I weren't that bad. And interestingly, he also does not remember Jess. I'm sure that if I can't do Christmas, Dad will work something out with me so he can see the kids, because he does love my kids. But it sounds like he wants to make sure Jack is happy, and Jack will only be happy if Jess is happy. So Dad is prioritizing Jess this year. I think you have already done enough, and humoring her is just going to worsen her fixation and scapegoating of you. I tell him, I'm done catering to demands for another apology of events I don't even remember from a decade ago, when I wasn't even a legal adult. If your girlfriend can't move on with her life, I suggest therapy. I'll make my own holiday plans with the rest of the family on a different day. Then drop the rope. Tell your extended family the same thing. No, you will not be showing up in a sackcloth and ashes flailing yourself for her crappy teenage experience. No, you will not be sending your children over without you to appease Jack. When and if they want to see the kids, they can make plans with you, the mother. You don't owe Jack or Jess squat. It's not your fault he previously dated a psycho either. In fact, it kind of sounds like he may be dating another one. And now for the update. So I've figured out why I didn't remember Jess. It wasn't Jess. Fiancé and I went through some old boxes. We're in the UK, so we don't have yearbooks. But we had Leavers shirts and this little book, and both had names of our fellow Leavers on them. We found his shirt, and we went through it. Jess was on there, so she did go to our school. But we saw another named Kate, and it bugged me, but I don't know why. I then went back to the year photo, and almost instantly, my brain matched the name Kate to a blonde girl in the photo. My fiancé and I realized that Kate dated Jimmy, and Jimmy is the guy that Jess said I stole from her. I then messaged Jack and explained all of my issues again. Jess going to another school, the notion I gave her an eating disorder, and now the realization that Kate was Jimmy's girlfriend, not Jess. Then said that if Jess can explain this, I'll apologize, and if she can't, then I expect an apology from her instead. A few hours later, we were all in a Zoom call. It's here where Jess admitted that she and I didn't interact in school. She was friends with Kate. I was dating my ex-husband at the same time Kate was dating Jimmy. My ex and I were very on again / off again, and after one of our breakups, Jimmy dumped Kate so he could ask me out. The date went terribly, so Jimmy went crawling back to Kate after. I remembered Kate and Jimmy as being very on and off, like my ex and I were. But turns out that this was the only time they broke up before the final breakup a few years later. Kate started comparing herself to me and developed an eating disorder to match mine, so she blames me for that too. As for the exam, I am still not entirely sure how I screwed that up for her, but Kate and I did go to the same sixth form and shared a class, so we took at least one exam in the same place and at the same time. Just referenced the eating disorder. And when I took my exams, I was pregnant with my oldest and had severe morning sickness. So my best guess is that my throwing up set off Kate's ED before an exam. And as for why Jess went along with it, other than still being friends with Kate, is that I had a large group of friends in high school who I have since stopped speaking to, and a couple of them picked on Jess a lot. But Jess confirmed that I did not personally do anything to her at any point. Jess met my brother in a support group last year. She told Kate, and it looks like they cooked up this little scheme together. Though it's unclear if she started dating Jack to get me, or if it was just coincidence. I asked if we could get Kate into Zoom so I could talk to her directly, and she joined. I did try and get details on how exactly it cost her Reedy and made her fail her exam. And she got very angry with me, saying that she wasn't going to explain because if she gave details, I would use them to talk my way out of it. I asked why Jess said that I bullied her and not her friend Kate, and Kate said I would have denied it either way, and referenced me mentally torturing her, saying that now we were even because I had admitted to spending hours racking my brain trying to figure out what I did, just like Kate had back then. I snapped at her when she said that, saying she needed to grow up and stop blaming others for her problems, and Kate, Jess, and Jack all left the Zoom. I told Dad everything, but he hasn't replied yet. I've not heard from Jack, Jess, and Kate since then, but honestly, Kate and Jess sound equally bat crap crazy, so I'm guessing they're feeding into each other's psycho logic right now. No clue what Jack is doing either, but he was angry with Jess on a call, and he was repeatedly pushing her to tell me everything, so I hope he's on my side here at least.
Am I the a-hole for abandoning my grandson and expecting to be paid back? I, 54 female, have 2 daughters, 30 and 25. My eldest had a son 2 years ago. She was married, but during her pregnancy, she had complications that stopped her from being able to have sex, and her husband, whom I never liked, cheated. So she filed for divorce and child support. He signed his rights away but still has to pay child support, but his payments are small and sporadic. Due to her condition, she wasn't able to work while pregnant, and originally she quit because they decided she would be a stay-at-home mom. While divorcing, she came to stay with me, and I provided everything the baby needed despite being low income. My husband died 7 years ago from cancer, which took all savings, and left me with nothing but our house and my car, both paid off thankfully. Before anyone can ask, it was a planned pregnancy. In their divorce, she was given the house and half their savings, which she used towards the mortgage, which had 15 years. But the savings knocked it down to 8, and after pregnancy, she got a job and has been paying it off. I have been providing free babysitting weekday afternoons, and all day/night on weekends as she needs or wants. Fast forward to now, my 25-year-old is 6 months pregnant. This was a bad situation. She is in therapy because it was an SA, but she didn't want to terminate or do adoption, and I support her decision. She rents and works, but it's just her. She was focused on her career and hasn't dated since early college. I'm still very low income, more so now with the rising costs, and can't help my youngest like I helped my eldest. I asked my eldest to donate the old baby things I bought: crib, bath, bouncers, walkers, all the stuff her son no longer needs. She is refusing, saying that her sister is irresponsible and she doesn't have to help her clean up her mess. She thinks her sister should have terminated or go for adoption, and that she shouldn't be trying to raise a child on her own because she's too young and can't even make room for a relationship, let alone a child. I don't agree with her at all, and am quite appalled by her behavior. In the end, I told her that if she's so much more responsible than her sister, then she can pay me back for all I provided her, and she can find a new babysitter because I won't do it anymore. She says I'm an a-hole for abandoning my grandson, and it's my job as her mom to help her, so she shouldn't have to pay back anything. She also said it's not her problem that I'm too broke to help her sister like I did her. I'm not abandoning my grandson, I just won't babysit anymore. Mainly because I'm going to get a second job to help my younger daughter. So, am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. I'm sorry to say your oldest is the a-hole. Such hypocritical entitlement. I don't even understand it. When she lived with me, her ex trashed the house, and when she moved back in, my youngest went over and cleaned it all up. Her sister also paid her light bill for 2 months, so she could save a small cushion for emergencies, since all the savings ended up going towards the house. Just because you are the grandmother does not mean that you owe your daughter to keep her kid. She can put him in daycare or find someone to keep him. You are doing the right thing trying to help your youngest daughter. Don't be guilted, bullied, gaslit, or manipulated by your daughter or any of the screeching flying family monkeys into babysitting her son. She does not deserve your kindness. You are not abandoning your grandson. Your daughter is selfish and entitled. Take care of yourself and your youngest daughter. You wouldn't be too broke to help your youngest. If your oldest hadn't received all the support you provided, I'd personally be more rational and make your oldest face her hypocrisy and facts. You can't provide child care for a kid anymore because you need to work. Being low income and all, it would be greatly appreciated to return the baby items, as she won't be needing them anymore, considering she is so responsible that she plans pregnancies for when she can provide for them 100% by herself and not needing your handouts. The audacity to call her sister irresponsible for being SA'd is through the roof. Why didn't she terminate her planned pregnancy when she couldn't do it alone and needed your help? Not the a-hole. You're not abandoning your grandchild. His mother is making it impossible to be there for him and his cousin at the same time. I agree. I definitely could have helped my youngest if I hadn't my oldest. I'm not sure why she's saying she's irresponsible, but I really hope it's nothing to do with the SA part, because my youngest cannot help that at all. It's not her fault by any means. It was one of those freak random break-ins that we see in the news from time to time. Even if she had been hanging out with a man or something else, that doesn't make it her fault. Next story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to give my sister back the child I've raised as my own? I, 35 female, have been married to my husband, 38 male, for almost 10 years. For most of that time, our marriage felt like it was missing something. We tried for years to have a child, went through countless tests and doctor visits, and faced heartbreak after heartbreak as every attempt failed. It took a toll on us both emotionally and mentally, and there were moments when we wondered if we'd ever get to be parents. Then a few years ago, something unexpected happened. My younger sister got pregnant by a man who completely disappeared as soon as he found out. She was terrified and admitted she wasn't ready to be a mother. She came to us asking if we could shoulder all her hospital bills and take the baby in. My husband and I had a long talk, and despite knowing how big of a responsibility it would be, we both agreed. We paid for everything: prenatal care, the delivery, and every expense that came after, and we registered the baby under our last name. From the day he was born, we raised him as our son. We loved him with everything we had and treated him as our firstborn. We never hid the truth from him. We gently told him that biologically, his mom is my sister, but he never seemed to care. To him, we are mom and dad, and he has always been happy and secure in our home. Years later, after what felt like a lifetime of waiting, my husband and I were blessed with a biological child of our own. Our daughter is now 4 years old, and she completed our family in a way we had always dreamed of. We were beyond grateful for this blessing. But ever since our daughter was born, my sister has been making comments that she wants to take her child back, claiming that since we already have our own, she should get to raise her son now. At first, I thought she was joking or just making emotional remarks, but she has brought it up repeatedly, and it's becoming clear that she's serious. This feels so deeply unfair to me. I have never kept her from visiting him. She has always been welcome in our home, but she has never shown much gratitude for what we did for her. Now she feels entitled to just take him away, as if the 8 years we have spent loving, raising, and providing for him mean nothing. I can't imagine giving him up. He is my son in every way that counts. His first steps, first words, school milestones, bedtime stories. Those moments were ours. He calls us mom and dad. We are the only parents he has ever known. Would I be the a-hole if I fought to keep him with us and refused to hand him over to my sister? Edit/info. My son is 8 years old now, and my daughter is 4. The child is legally ours. We have a signed agreement from my sister, and we are listed as the legal parents on his birth certificate. I believe that should be enough proof to challenge her claim, but I'm terrified this will turn into a family war. Now for the top comments. Info. Did you legally adopt him? Tell sister a child is not a possession. She should be doing what's best for him. And best for him is not uprooting his entire life. Yes, we adopted him legally. She even signed the papers because she didn't want to raise the child on her own. Then she has no leg to stand on. However, she might go crazy on you. I wouldn't leave her with a kid unsupervised. Who knows what wild stories she might tell. Not the a-hole. How unfair to your son to uproot his entire life. I would feel legal advice here. Is your sister stable, emotionally and financially? What an awful, selfish thing to do too. Yes, she was struggling emotionally and financially. That's why we took all the bills and everything. Absolutely not the a-hole. Your son may be cognizant of who his biological egg donor is, but you are his mother in every sense and purpose, and have been since his birth. I hugely doubt that any authority or medical/psychological professional would ever sign off on your sister regaining parental rights or custody, unless there was any evidence of abuse. Keep fighting for your child and children. He's not a toy to be shared or taken back. Thank you. We've been his parents in every way that counts, and we'll keep fighting to protect him. Please don't stress over something in which you kindly stepped up and helped your sister, and in the meantime, you were blessed with a baby that stole your and your husband's hearts. At the same time, you ticked all the boxes necessary to legally be recognized as the child's parents. Of course, you are not the a-hole. However, your sister most definitely is. Dismiss your sister's nonsense and continue to stay present for your loving family. Next story. Am I the a-hole for removing my sister-in-law from the family Spotify plan? I got married a couple weeks ago, and we're in the process of merging our finances. This includes going through all of our subscriptions to reduce redundancy and sync our bills. In doing so, we realized that my husband's brother's ex-wife is still on his family Spotify plan. Because she is, we can't add me. My husband started the family plan about 6 years ago for himself and his 2 older brothers. It allows him to have 4 separate accounts in the plan, and the cost per account is lower than paying for them individually. When the plan was created, each brother got an account, and the last account went to the middle brother's wife. The plan is under my husband's name, so he is the admin. He gets billed annually, and the others reimburse him for their share. At the time, this made perfect sense. They all saved some money. The middle brother was the only one with a spouse, and although my husband and I had been together for about a year at the time, I was about to start grad school, so I could still get the student pricing and thus had no reason to join the plan. Now, it makes less sense. I'm out of school, we're married, and the middle brother got divorced about a year and a half ago. We can easily afford to keep my separate Spotify. But we also realized the ex never paid my husband back when the plan renewed this year, so we agreed it made more sense to remove her and add me in order to simplify our subscriptions. So that's exactly what my husband did. He deactivated her, joined my Spotify to the plan, and texted his middle brother to let the ex know. We didn't text her directly because she became extremely volatile during their divorce. So the brother asked our whole family not to contact her directly, so all communication could flow through a specific moderated messaging app that their lawyers recommended. This has caused a family conflict. The middle brother is mad at us because he feels like we're forcing him to have another fight with his ex just so we could save a buck. It's true that she will definitely be set off by this. Plus, he feels like she deserves to stay on the plan because they were together for a long time, aka longer than my husband and I. We can definitely see how it sucks for him to have to reach out to his ex and inevitably piss her off. On the other hand, the oldest brother agrees with us. She can't stay on their family plan forever just to avoid a conflict. It's healthier to sever these last ties. She chose to leave the family. Divorce was her call, so she gave up any family-related benefits, and there are logical reasons for me to join the plan now. So, internet strangers, am I the a-hole for asking to join my husband's family Spotify plan and thereby forcing his brother to have a conflict with his ex? Now for the top comments. And texted his middle brother to let the ex know. I don't think it is necessary that middle brother lets her know. She is bound to notice the next time she tries to use Spotify and will either just accept that she is not part of that family anymore, by her own choice, or will reach out from her side to bitch about it, in which case middle brother has the same fight as he is fearing for when he reaches out to let her know. And if she complains about it, the answer to, "Why did you remove me?" should simply be, "You didn't pay for it at the last renewal, so we assumed you don't want to be on it anymore." And who knows, maybe she is not even actively using it currently, and not paying for it was actually her way of saying, "I'm not part of this deal anymore." Not the a-hole. This is the way. She didn't hold up her financial end, so she's dropped. That's all middle brother has to say when and if she contacts him or anyone in the family. She's not entitled to a heads up. In real life, you don't pay your bill, service stops. Even if she did pay last year, there is no reason she shouldn't be dropped now. She isn't part of the family anymore, and she handled the divorce badly enough that a messaging app had to be implemented. To continue to let her save money at the expense of an actual family member would be rewarding bad behavior. I agree. The reasons OP has for replacing her on the plan is perfectly valid without the payment issue, but the lack of payment just makes it all so much easier, as they don't have to have a conversation with her about either honoring the deal until the end of the payment period or giving her a portion of the money back. Last story. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to buy my girlfriend's brother NBA 2K26 after I already got him a PS5? So, my girlfriend's little brother turned 16 a few months ago, and I really wanted to do something special for him. He's a good kid. I get along with him well, and my girlfriend's family has always been really kind to me. So, I went big and bought him a PlayStation 5 for his birthday. It wasn't cheap, around $500, but I figured it was a milestone birthday, and he was over the moon about it. The whole family thought it was amazing, and kept telling me how generous I was. Fast forward to now, NBA 2K26 just came out. Out of nowhere, I start getting texts from her brother about how he needs the new game, so he can play online with his friends. My girlfriend also started dropping little hints, like casually mentioning how it would be nice if he had it, or that it would mean a lot if I surprised him with it. Honestly, I was caught off guard. I already spent a pretty big chunk of money on the console, and now they seem to expect me to keep buying him games whenever something new comes out? It's not like I have unlimited funds. I'm still budgeting around that PS5 purchase. Plus, $70 for a game isn't exactly pocket change, especially if this turns into a regular thing. I told my girlfriend that I thought her brother could save his allowance, ask for the game for Christmas, or maybe even do some odd jobs to earn the money. She got quiet and then told me I was being weirdly stingy, considering how generous I was before. That honestly rubbed me the wrong way. Just because I splurged once doesn't mean I signed up to be the permanent provider for every game release. It's not that I don't like her brother, because I do. I just feel like if I buy this game, I'll be setting a precedent where every time a new title drops, I'm expected to foot the bill. And it's not like I'm his parent. Shouldn't this kind of thing come from his own savings or his family? So Reddit, am I the a-hole for drawing the line at game purchases after buying him the PS5? Or am I being unfair since I already went big with the console? Run. This, stop, catch your breath, then proceed back to running. Maybe take back the $500 console and just give him a $70 game. That is actually way more freaking hilarious than just taking the PS5 back that I thought he should do. A waste of $70, but God, it would be so funny to just walk out PS5 underarm and never talk to that family again. He can't take the PS5 back. It belongs to the kid now, and OP has no more right to take it than anybody else. What OP does have the right to do is get far from this family of mooches. Now they figure he has money, they will never let up. Not the a-hole. It's clear her and her family see you as an ATM. Why do they think they're entitled to your money? They should be extremely grateful, yet they're clearly freeloaders.